This is my audience. A long time ago, there was a time where people would need to scavenge the grounds for dead animals in order to get the meat off of them. Over time, this evolved into what is now known as hunting. Today, I will be informing you on how hunting began, the types of animals that can be hunted, and the tactics used in hunting. Over 3 million years ago, the beginning of hunting was introduced, where people began to look for prey and use rudimentary weapons like spears. The most common type of hunting at the beginning was used by farmers to defend their crops from predators that may have destroyed them. During the 13th century, people would often hunt to eliminate animals that would cause harm to their plantations. With everyone getting into hunting, the issues of poaching occurred, and when people got caught poaching, they were often prohibited from hunting. Over time, more issues with hunting occurred, such as the destruction of the ecosystem and the extinction of animals. With the issues arising with hunting, Napoleon had created permits. These permits were used to regulate where and when animal hunting could take place. By the 19th century, the cost of the permit showed that only those of the privileged well-off classes could participate in hunting, which led back to the issue of poaching in order to survive. Hunting today is strictly regulated with many laws and rules that must be followed. Now that we have talked about how hunting first began, we will look at different animals known as game that are often hunted. According to foodbackbags.com, the different hunting categories include big game, which is white-tailed deer, mule deer, moose, elk, caribou, bear, bighorn sheep, pronghorn, and a few others. Small game that included rabbit, hare, squirrel, opossum, raccoon, porcupine, and skunk. Fur bearers, which were beavers, red fox, mink, pine marten, muskrat, otter, and bobcats. Predators, such as cougars, mountain lions, and panthers, wolves, and coyotes. And then there was waterfowl, duck, teal, merganser, geese, and swans. Depending on the area that you're in will depend on what someone is allowed to hunt. Regulations for what animals are allowed to be hunted are set by the state or government. For example, in Minnesota, we are not allowed to shoot swans, but over in North and South Dakota, it is allowed because the regulations are different in those states. Along with these different areas, having different animals that are allowed to be hunted, it also changes the number of specific game allowed to be killed in those areas. For example, there are different zones during deer hunting. Depending on what zone you're in, will depend on how many deer you can shoot total. These are the different zones in Minnesota for deer hunting, for whitetail. So depending on where you are, it depends how many deer you can shoot. Now that we've talked about what you can shoot, let's talk about some hunting strategies that are often used. According to campfirecollective.com, the most common tactic used in hunting is called stalking. This is where the hunter is slowly and quietly moving through the woods until they spot the game they're hunting for. They proceed to slowly move forward until they can get a clear and clean shot on the animal. There are a lot of deer hunters that use this tactic. Another tactic that is often used is called blind or stand hunting. This is where a hunter will use a blind, stand, or natural structure to keep themselves hidden from the animal they are hunting until the animal comes into view, allowing them a clear shot to shoot. Over time, hunting has come a long way from simple spears to the advanced weapons and technology that we have today. Hunting has changed the way that humans were able to survive and how we got to where we are today. Now you know a little bit more about hunting. Thank you.